Hello, you beautiful people. So, I already know that most of you guys are very much interested in Castorice considering how pretty she is, and you want to know all the recent info that we got on her kit and overall playstyle, right? Luckily for you though, you've somehow stumbled on the perfect video to get that info. Today, I'm basically going to break down all the new info that we got on Castorice, and along with this, we'll also make some speculations regarding her overall playstyle and whether she'll need Sunday or not. All in all, in this video, I compiled every bit of info that we have on Castoriz as of now. Before we go on though, if you're planning to pull for the Herda or the rerunning units in version 3.0, you might want to check out Lubar because on this site, you can save up to a total of 23% on all your purchases. Just as an example, I'll buy this 3280 Oniric Shard pack for $43, and this same pack costs me about $50 from the in-game shop. You can see that it's cheaper, right? The top-up process is honestly really easy as well because all you need to do is enter your UID in this box and choose your respective server depending on your account. After waiting for a few minutes, I received my Jades with the double top-up bonus because it was my first purchase and saved a decent amount of money. Also, other than HSR, you can top up on Genshin as well using Lubar, and both of these games have quite a lot of 5-star reviews. Lastly, if you use my link which is in the description or the pinned comment, you can get an extra 8% off on top of all the other discounts, so do keep that in mind. Anyways, moving on from that, let me just say that all the info that I mentioned throughout this video is taken from different sources, so take all of it with a grain of salt, and with that being said, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Okay, first of all, Castoriz is going to be a quantum type unit who follows the path of remembrance, and she'll most definitely play the role of a HP scaling main DPS on your team. Next up, I know a lot of people want to know her exact release date, and if nothing changes within the current patch schedule, I think her first limited banner will go live on April 9th for the Asia and Europe servers and April 8th for the America ones. Alright, moving on to her kit, I just want to say that we don't have any actual ability descriptions on her for now, but looking at the current info given by a very reliable source, I'm pretty confident in saying that her basic attack will be quite generic and most of her kit will be based around her dragon, which is also her memo sprite. Yep, for someone who still doesn't know, she actually uses a huge dragon as her summon, and they've teased this dragon a lot of times already. Now, according to the same source, Castoriz will be able to deal a significant amount of both AE and single target damage, which means that she'll most likely turn out to be a great unit for pretty much all the content in the entire game. I mean, if she has good single target damage, we already know that she'll perform really well in Memory of Chaos against bosses, and if she deals a significant amount of AoE damage on top of it, she'll also turn out to be a great unit for modes like Pure Fiction with different waves of AoE enemies. Lastly, we already know that Apocalyptic Shadow is a mix of both MOC and Pure Fiction, so this is the best case scenario for her where she'll function really well in all the 3 different endgame modes. Next up, this source also stated that Castoriz will be an HP scaling unit, and they specifically mentioned that she'll drain quite a decent amount of HP from your entire team while she is on the field. Honestly, if Castoriz actually ends up draining a decent amount of HP, I would say that she'll have insane synergy with the recent HP scaling units like Tribi and Maide, especially considering that both of them benefit from stacking a lot of HP. I guess you can say that her playstyle will be somewhat similar to Maide or Blade, where you'll need a healer like Luocha to keep her team alive. Now, her HP drain mainly comes into play when we talk about her ultimate because her ultimate has a special activation requirement, somewhat similar to Acheron or Fei Zhao's ultimate. Okay, so this source said that instead of using energy, Castoriz will get her ultimate up once she reaches a certain threshold of HP drain from her entire team, and additionally, the lower the HP, the higher her personal damage will be. All in all, Castoriz will have a somewhat dangerous playstyle, where she'll need to be at a low HP to deal a massive amount of damage, and honestly, this playstyle sounds really fun to me and kind of fresh as well. Moving on, I've already stated this point in my previous videos about Castoriz, and I think it's pretty obvious that she'll have somewhat of a slow playstyle. Now though, even according to the reliable sources, Castoriz herself will have a really low base speed and her dragon will have okay speed, which means that she most likely doesn't have much significance in her kit besides summoning her dragon, who will be her main damage source. Honestly, if I have to guess and speculate a bit, I think she'll function similarly to Topaz, where Castoriz takes more of a supportive role and enables her dragon to nuke the enemies, while she herself focuses more on providing buffs to the dragon and keeping the uptime. Overall, I'm pretty confident in saying that her dragon will end up dealing an insane amount of damage though, because the source stated that her Memisprite's main attack will have an effect similar to C6 Hu Tao. Now, if you don't know what Hu Tao's C6 does, it quite literally increases her crit rate to 100%, and from that, I think we can easily conclude that you'll want to stack more and more crit damage on Castorice, because she might end up having 100% crit rate anyway. Next up, talking a little bit about her preferred Relic set and Planar set, I think both of them also give us a great idea on how she'll function overall. First of all, starting with her Relic set, it's pretty obvious that the Poet set, which was released just now in patch 3.0, will likely turn out to be her best in slot, because its design and the set effect seem pretty much perfect for Castorice. This set literally says that if the wearer's speed is less than 110, it increases the wearer's crit rate by 20%, and if their speed is less than 95, this set gives the wearer a massive 32% extra crit rate, which is honestly kind of insane. As we can see though, this set specializes in buffing crit rate mainly for characters with a really low base speed, and as I've talked about it before. Castorice will most likely take more of a supportive role, so her having a low base speed with her dragon having an okayish base speed and nuking the enemies makes quite a lot of sense. Other than that, we'll also get a new planar set in patch 3.1, and this set states that if the wearer's HP is above 5,000, it increases their own and their Memisprite's crit damage by a total of 28% and also gives the wearer a decent 12% HP boost. All in all, I think Castorice might already get around a 100% crit rate without any extra buffs, because you're already getting 32% crit rate from the planar set, and you'll likely get a lot of crit rate through the C6 Hu Tao passive that she has. Basically, if you're excited about Castorice just like me, I think you can pretty much start pre-farming the Poet set, and once patch 3.1 goes live, you can also start farming the new planar set. Lastly, just a small point, but I want to mention that if Castorice actually ends up not using any energy at all, I would say that Sunday might not be her best in slot support like a lot of people thought. Yep, I know that a lot of you guys pulled for Sunday just for Castorice though, so I do hope that he actually turns out to be her best in slot support, because otherwise, I feel like a lot of people would be kind of mad, and it's justified as well, because at the end of the day, Sunday is quite literally meant to be a perfect support for remembrance-based DPS units. Alright, with that, I've covered all the info that we got on Castorice as of now, and honestly, I think her playstyle sounds really fun overall, and there's quite literally no way I'm ever going to skip her. I mean, just look at her. She is really pretty and has a huge dragon as her summon, and I would say both of these things make her a must-pull character for me. Do remember to comment down how you guys feel about her kit though, because as always, I like reading your opinions on different things. With that being said, I just want to say that I really love y'all, and I will see you in another one.